So radical and rational exponents. So if you look, and I started writing the next one and I didn't want to, I want to do that with you guys. So 3 to the 0 power, remember anything to a 0 power is always 1. 3 to the first, or if you have 1, 3 multiplying, then it's just 3. 3 squared, or 3 times 3 is 9. 3 cubed, that's 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Then if you do 3 to the fourth, or 27 times 3, you get 81. And then 3 to the fifth, 81 times 3 is 243. Okay, so now we're going to write 3 as a root. So we're going to take this same information and write it as a root. So the square root of 9 is 3. Now we've done these a little bit, but the way we write this, instead of it being a square root, and you normally don't see the 2 there, because if I just write a radical, then it's automatically, it's the given that it's a 2. As soon as you change it, you have to change it to a third root, or a 3, and we call it cube root. So the cube root of 27 is 3. If you take a calculator and you hit the math button, so if you hit the math button, which is right underneath alpha, so right there if you hit that button, if you go to number 5, notice it has the x and then the radical, so you can actually do 3 and 27. The cube root of 27 is 3. Okay, then we can do the fourth root of 81 is 3. The fifth root of 243 is 3. So the fifth root means what number times itself 5 times gives you 243. Well, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, gives you 243. So just like square root is what number times itself, cube root is what number times itself 3 times, fourth root is what number times itself 4 times, fifth root is what number times itself 5 times. Okay, now notice it says rational exponent, so that's just a, if you notice, ratio or a fraction. So the way we do this is 9 to the 1/2 equals 3. And I'm going to go ahead and type that in. So I'm going to do 9, and I'm going to raise it to the 1/2 power, and notice that's 3. Then I'm going to do 27 to the 1/3 power. So 27 to the 1/3 is 3. Notice it kind of pushed it off the screen, but this and this give you the same answer. 27 to the 1/3 and the cube root of 27 is 3. This one I'm going to write it as 81 to the 1/4, and that also equals 3. And 243 to the 1/5 equals 3. So if you notice, the highlighter's pretty dark. So if you notice, the I'm going to say b square root of x is the same thing as x to the 1/b. So if you have and that's a b, not a 6. So whatever number is right here on the radical can be written as an exponent of 1 divided by whatever this number is. So 1 divided by b. Okay, so on your assignment today, you're going to see things that look like this. So it's going to be 7 to the 2 over 3. So if you have 7 raised to the 2/3 power, remember this, what's on bottom gets rewritten as a radical, or as the number in front of the radical. So it would be 3, or cube root of 7, and then that squared just stays up there. So it would be the cube root of 7 to the 2nd power, or squared. So that's all you have to do on those ones. So anytime it's a fraction or a ratio with a number other than 1 on top, the number on bottom goes to the front of the radical, and then the number on top is what the whole thing is raised to. Okay? All right, so we're going to do an example. If we have x to the 6th, y to the -2 over x to the -3rd y, and all of it raised to the 1/3 power. This is a new example. Okay, leave the ratio or the fraction alone for now, and use what you learned yesterday. So if you have a negative exponent, remember you move it to the bottom, so this would now be y squared, and then another negative exponent, so that moves to the top and becomes positive. So now I have x cubed, y, oh sorry, not x, or y, x to the 6th, and I do not have any white out. I have liquid, so it's just going to have to look like that. Divided by y and y squared to the 1/3 power. Okay, I'm going to simplify because I don't want to have to distribute that extra times. So x cubed and x to the 6th can be written as x to the 9th divided by y and y squared. So that would be y cubed, and all of it raised to the 1/3 power. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can just write it as, remember our rules from yesterday, this raised to this power means I multiply. A power to a power means you multiply. So it would be 9 over 1 times 1/3, and then 3 over 1 times 1/3 for the bottom. So I just did 3 to the 1/3 and 9 to the 1/3. Or you could rewrite this as, so there are two ways. You could do it this way, or you could do it this way over here. So I'm going to do x to the 9th. Remember, 1/3 means that's the number in front of the radical, divided by, again, cube root of y cubed. So let me go ahead and finish this one. So x to the 9th, remember this is cube root, so what number, or what times itself 3 times? So I'm going to break this into 3 groups. So it'd be x cubed, x cubed, x cubed, or you could write every single x out and circle them in groups of 3s. And then this would be y, 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 because there are 3 of them. And if you do the cube root of those, you're just left with y divided by, and that's over, again, this is cube root, so I would just be left with x cubed. Now, me personally, I think this way is easier, so that's the harder way, in my opinion, this way. So if you do 9 times 1/3, 9 and 3 would cancel, you'd be left with 3, so it'd be x cubed divided by 3 times 1/3. If you have 3 pieces of pie that were cut in thirds, you would have a whole pie. So it would just be y. So in my opinion, this is the easiest way. If this didn't perfectly reduce like that, you would just leave it. So like if this was 2/3, you would just leave it with the ratio again. But, so that's one way you could do it, or you could do it this way and just break it into 3 equal groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put it in groups of 3, 1, 2, 3. So you would have x cubed left. Okay, that's what you were doing today.